Tyreek Hill.
Tell us
this
about
is
him.
not a fun story, but we got to talk about it.
actually.
As you guys know, he's currently going through it with his estranged wife, and she has alleged in the latest court filings that he committed domestic violence on at least 8 separate occasions just in the last 2 years. So he obviously denies all wrongdoing. His attorneys say that this is the one big shakedown. It's all going to play out here in court. But it does add to the laundry list of issues that Tyreek Hill has brought now to the Dolphins organization. Obviously, last season, some of his social media commentary about, hey, I think I miss Patrick Mahomes, and what could have been, and he's throwing these hard eye emojis on his IG stories, all the way down to some of the comments he made about his own team, even as recently as in training camp, where he went on record and said, hey, maybe we shouldn't give the ball to Devon Achane, our running back 1, at the goal line, because that's not his game. We should bring in another guy. And it got to a point where Tua Tagovailoa had to actually have a private conversation, number one, and then publicly tell the media that, hey, Tyreek has alienated a lot of his teammates. He's done and said things he knows he shouldn't have done, and it's up to him to mend fences. Well, I don't know if this is really helping in that regard right now.
Well, for me, listen, I haven't, I'm going to act like I'm a mathematician. I haven't figured out all the details on the financial lens, and that matters. So I don't want to act like that doesn't matter, right? We know this is a capped league, but there's some way I have to find out. And sometimes you got to just swallow your medicine and do what's best for your organization. And I'm interested in moving off, whether that be a trade, whether that finding a way if I have to release him, because ultimately, here's a couple of reasons why. Number one, how long do I even have him before something happens where the league says, hey, he has, we're going to suspend him 2 games, 4 games, 6 games, 8 games, whatever it may happen. He continues to have these issues. Rob G just stated the numbers any amount of times. Also, Rob G mentioned how we see the flirting, shooting the DMs out and the text messages and the tweets and the Instagrams back to the Chiefs and doing all of that. So then the other issue for me, if I'm Michael McDaniel and if I'm anybody in that organization is, let's say he stays here. Let's say for whatever reason she recants. He doesn't get in any trouble with the league or with an investigation outside with police. How long do I have him anyway? Because what if we're not a great team? What if we end up going 1-3? Is he out again? Is he, hey, Chiefs, I want to come back. I need to get out of here. I can't believe I decided to come back. I'm out. I need freedom. I can't breathe. How long before that? He came back, and he was normally a captain. His team chose to not make him a captain this year, and you had Tua talk to him and say yes, and a lot of guys said we forgive him because that's what we're supposed to do, but it also means he's got to earn our trust. That's what Tua said. And so to me, I'm looking at what's best for us, and what's best for us is probably to move forward and find something else. Again, if it's a trade, if he's eligible for a trade, meaning nothing happens with the league, then I'm looking at that. Because I don't want to go through I wonder if we're going to have him there, personal issues off the field. Okay, on the field, he's not getting enough passes. He went, he only got a few attempts, pass attempts this game. Is we're going to lose him mentally? Is he going to check out? Is he not going to be there? So I can't keep playing that game. I want guys who are adults on and off the field. And I understand we all make mistakes. He's been given that grace. But how much more must I extend this grace? And for to the point where it becomes a detriment to my team. That's where I am with Tyreek Hill, because I just can't keep doing this as I'm trying to build continuity, build something, bounce back from a horrid week 1, and move forward. And I'm just looking at, we may have to explore options. His heart wasn't in it. He wants to go. Well, dang it, you know what? Let me find a way to make that happen.
Yeah, I think it's just premature. You got to be very careful. Because he hasn't been convicted of anything, and
I'm not. I'm talking the team. More
but this is why you're saying this now because of what just came out. You didn't say this before the season. You didn't say this.
Well, I said it last season when he kept.
But I'm saying,
dipping out.
But this is you're saying now to make a move. You can't make a move until this plays out. You need to find out. I'll never forget Dave Anderson, a tremendous sports columnist for the New York Times. He's passed, but he was a tremendous columnist, and there were accusations made about Michael Irvin, and they wrote a column in the New York Times that they should release him, you know what I mean, and get rid of him or whatever, only for what do you think happened? What do you think happened? The woman recanted and took everything back and acknowledged that she made it up. So I don't know what the details are, whatever, so I'm just always careful before. If they go to trial and there's some situation and then you have a situation where you can make a call. I'll never forget Marv Albert with NBC. And Marv Albert said he was innocent. Remember with the biting the woman and the whole 9 yards. And I remember he told them, NBC said, we'll stand by you as long as you don't cop a plea. You said you're innocent as long as you don't cop a plea. Marv went in, copped a plea, and what do you think NBC did? They fired him right on the spot. So all I'm saying to you is this is Tyreek Hill's resume, rap sheet. This ain't even new. When they gave him that big – go look at his college days and what he did.
I know.
Okay, so now you're looking and going – oh, look at him and what he's – dude, this is what you signed up for when you signed up. And Rob G, correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't it like some pregnant girlfriend he threw down the stairs, or there was some crazy type behavior back then? And people, because he could play football and catch the football and run like a deer, people overlooked that stuff. Aaron Hernandez, and you know what? He was on some team's do not draft list. And the Patriots said, oh, look at this guy. We're going to be smarter than everybody else. And what happened? Oh, they talked about they got duped. They didn't get duped. He had a rap sheet. He had all this other stuff that people knew about. And and it was allegedly punching and choking his pregnant girlfriend. I knew there was some really bad behavior, and that didn't stop him, is my point. And I'm not making an excuse for him. All I'm saying is they knew all this kind of stuff, and we have to wait and see how this thing plays out. If you just feel like you don't want him on a team anymore because of the other stuff, we're not getting over there, that would be fine. But I'm just saying, off of this alone can't be the reason why. Because we don't know where we are on that.
But that's where we'll fundamentally disagree. Off of this alone, I've had enough, period. I've had enough of headlines.
But you don't even know if this is right, or fair.
But what I'm saying as an organization, I can say I've had enough of headlines. If this was his first one, I get you. Yo, you know what? Something happened at home. Okay,
but you signed him with a ton of headlines already.
Right. Don't keep adding. If I've said we
but what if this is totally false and they made a head? I'm asking you.
I'm answering.
You're saying you don't want my headlines.
I'm
say
answering
his
your question.
ex-wife or is lying. Okay, now what?
That's fine for me. The sense is you've had enough. There's called grace. People get allotted. You know what? Stuff happens. We're gonna. And when you know this, when stuff keeps happening to somebody, you go eventually, enough is enough, period, right? And so we already barely wanted to bring you back with all the I'm ready to go, trade me, get me out of here. The team had to have meetings to see how everybody felt about it, all right? We had to have press conferences about
if
that.
If they wanted to get rid of him, they could have long gotten rid of him. He could play. That's why they didn't get rid of him.
He barely got back, and he didn't want to play. That's my point. And so at a certain point, how much longer is grace? Listen, and this is where I have to be a prognosticator if I'm the team. We don't look like we're going to be a great team. Do we expect this to be as bad as week one? No. But when we look up and we're 1-4 or 2-5, how long before that ticking bomb happens again? He's done it multiple times. Get me out of here. I want to be free. Trade me. Hey, boo, Kansas City. And you have to be sometimes saying, this is going to happen. Because this has been the history, and this is what's going to happen. I might as well get out of this early. It's part of my job as a general manager is to have an overarching view of things. I can see this is coming. Quietly behind doors, we ain't as great as we think we are. Losing might be a part of the schedule. We need to jump ahead of this and see if we can, again, either get something for him while we can before he implodes, or before something happens, we lose him off the field stuff. All right, Rob, so they're watching us right now, which means another thing they can do is what?
They can subscribe. All you got to do is hit that button, subscribe to The Odd Couple for some of the best sports talk content in the nation.
Facts, and while you're at it, they can like, they can comment, they can share, do all that for us. We appreciate it. Just do all that right up in here.